May I ask to project the presentation? The first slide, please. Okay, thank you very much. So, if we have really 7 speakers, we have roughly 10 minutes for each of the contribution and few seconds for question and answers at the end of the panel. We are running really late. So, okay. So, thank you. Yes, yes. Thank you, thanks. Let me look at on this one. May I ask to the speakers that are connected online to reveal if they are really connected at the moment? Sorry?
There is no one online for this panel.
So this means we are...
Yes.
Okay.
Was expecting 3 to come, or they cancelled their participation?
Tonya, we have only 4 speakers.
There is another one.
The ghost one. You have the rapporteur? No. Let's look at this one. Okay, this is our, you see, you have the rapporteur is supposed to be this one. Papa Georgiou?
This is the one. I'm here.
Yeah? That is the same?
No. This is the one.
Okay. Good.
You can keep.
Yes, thank you. Okay. But the rapporteur is here, or? Papa Georgiou?
Yes.
Papa Georgiou is the rapporteur? Okay, good. Just to know, because I didn't want to...
With physically present, Professor Araposis, he just finished from another event. I don't know if he will make it down.
You can call me Angelo.
Okay. I was just checking because you have a relevant role in this to create a report, so you need to be here when we will start talking about this topic. So, good. So, shall we start? I think. Okay. Good. So, basically, according to more or less the arrangement, we have 10 minutes. So, let me introduce the first speaker. The topic today is quite interesting because it's one of the 2 recent initiatives from the European Commission. Dates back 4 years, more or less, the new European Bauhaus that was launched more or less together with the CCI, so the Cultural Creative Industries project. And many times they try to hybridate the 2 initiatives. This happened to our project, for instance. So it was created and launched under the CCI initiative. But then the Commission said, okay, let's cope with this one with the new European Bauhaus. So let me introduce Logos Nikolaos, is yes. You. And so the floor is yours. Thank you. I will give you an alert 3 minutes before. You need to...
A presentation.
Yes, you have a presentation too.
I have a presentation. Good afternoon, and thank you for the opportunity to contribute to this panel at the 4th International Transdisciplinary Multispectral Modeling and Cooperation for the Preservation of the Cultural Heritage Conference, addressing world challenges. I'm Nikos Lagaros, Professor of Structural Optimization at the National Technical University of Athens. And today, I want to explore how we can reimagine structural design through the lens of new European Bauhaus, an ambitious vision uniting sustainability, inclusivity, and aesthetics. Our current moments calls for a deeper transformation of the built environment. The building sector accounts for nearly 40% of local energy use, 30% of greenhouse gas emissions, and 40% of resource consumptions. Yet it also holds tremendous potential since it's projected to grow to 15.5 trillion of euros by 2030, with opportunities for innovation at every layer of the design and construction sector. The key message I want to leave with you is that design optimization, next generation materials and AI are no longer separate threads. They must be burdened together if we are to meet both the climate and cultural imperatives of our times. First, through structural optimization, we can achieve elegance through efficiency, reducing material use, while increasing resilience and preserving architectural quality. Projects like Bird's Nest or Water Cube in Beijing have already demonstrated cost savings of up to 10% reduction of material use through such methods. But what if just 5% of the global construction market adopted optimization? This is a question that we can state. We're talking about billions of savings and millions of tons of CO2 emissions avoided, equivalent to the annual output of major cities. Second, machine learning and AI technologies are rapidly transforming how we can learn from data and design with insight. Our work using deep belief networks in topology optimization that we call DL-top methodologies have shown that can achieve up to 30%, 90% reduction in cost effort while maintaining design performance. This is a leap forward for real-time adaptivity, data-driven design. Third, we need to embrace next-generation materials, adaptive manufacturing technologies to create circular regenerative structures. By designing materials digitally tailored to performance and sustainability goals, we open up new pathways to zero-waste construction and bio-inspired forms. Fourth, our buildings must become smart, adaptive systems, able to sense, respond, and evolve. With low-cost structural health monitoring devices combined with AI technologies, we can extend the life of our infrastructures and enhance safety and reduce lifecycle costs. In essence, the new European Bauhaus gives us a compelling framework to align with technical excellence and human values. It is not only about building better structures, but also about creating spaces, about uplifting, included, endure. Concluding, I would suggest that let us design not only for compliance but also for coherence between performance, people, and planet. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for your intervention. You fit largely within the time slot, so very welcome. So let's move. Please think about your question and keep them till the end of the session for this speaker. So Costanti is not here, so I think, and there's no. So I would like to give the floor to Zeta Francesca. Are you ready? Perfect. Maximum 10 minutes. Less is better. Is due
Less
to
is better, okay.
How hungry are you? You have a presentation?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Okay, hi. So my name is Francesca Rozzetta. I'm a PhD candidate at UCL in London. I'm also teaching assistant. I teach a course in heritage ethics in the Mediterranean and in the Middle East. And my main areas of interest are contemporary archaeology and migration, public archaeology. And on the topic of contemporary migrations and archaeology, I am also collaborating with the project Respire in Lampedusa, which is funded by the National Geographic. Today, I want to talk to you about an aspect of archaeology that interests me particularly, which is public archaeology, which I think that can achieve all these objectives that the new European Bauhaus is trying to achieve, which is engage people at grassroots level, find tailor-made solutions for different communities, and prioritizing people and social inclusion. So what is public archaeology? There are different definitions of public archaeology. I found a very helpful graph that my PhD supervisor made, Gabe Myshinska, and I also found a working definition of public archaeology by the late Tim Schlada-Hall, which is one of the founders of public archaeology, who used to work at the Institute of Archaeology at UCL, where I'm conducting my PhD. Today I want to talk about a little bit this particular aspect of public archaeology, which is community participation, heritage management. What are the benefits of community participation and heritage management, which respond quite closely to the Bauhaus objectives? So they allow for negotiation of interest by allowing the community to negotiate with the local administration as well as the Ministry of Culture. They also empower the community to identify what constitutes heritage for them, deploying a bottom-up approach to the definition of a heritage. And it also allows to adopt inclusive processes where sites that would otherwise be neglected can be included in this management plan, which increases the relevance of the project for the locals who may be more responsive to conservation efforts. What other benefits of community participation in heritage management are also the enhancement of the ties within the community itself, where members work together to protect their local heritage. And it also allows for multidisciplinary collaboration. For instance, in the study that I am quoting here by Anastasia Sakellariade in 2013, she worked on the Philippi management plan for UNESCO inscription to the World Heritage List. She said that, for instance, archaeological guides were consulted for the first time in a management plan for an archaeological site. What is the result of adopting this kind of approach? It is a shared vision for sustainable management and protection of heritage, finding realistic strategies, and having equally empowered stakeholders. What is the situation in Greece? I've conducted my PhD in Greece. I've lived here for almost 2 years all in all. And I've done a lot of research in Thessaloniki. So these are some of the things that I found. So management of archaeology and heritage is a state responsibility in Greece. This state of things comes from the 2000 archaeological law, and it has an entirely reasonable objective, which is to ensure appropriate protection and high standards at all times when dealing with heritage. However, a few Greek scholars, in this case Alexopoulos and Fousaki, Professor Fousaki also works at UCL, they found that sometimes innovation in public archaeological activities can be hindered by this over-centralization of heritage. For this reason, another Greek scholar, Anastasia Sakellariadi, that I mentioned before, she says in her Philippine management plan paper that she does not see participatory management becoming a common practice in Greece so far. So the effect of that would be that civil society often, sometimes in the form of citizen movements or NGOs, are left largely unheard when they voice their concerns in the local heritage. And one of the cases that I found, I worked in Thessaloniki, as I said, for over 6 months, and I interviewed many members of the citizens movement for the protection of cultural heritage, or Kinesipoliton Thessalonikis. And what I found is that there were a very engaged local community who was very proud and very keen to save its local heritage. So what I wrote there, a missed opportunity for collaboration with the local community, I think sums up this event, which spanned over 2 years and resulted in the detachment of the antiquities from the Venezuela station. So, thank you.
Very much. So, again, keep your question for the end. And now it's Sakanika Eleftheria. It's your name.
Please activate the microphone.
Okay. Eleftheria, please. Your floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Thank you for giving. No, just speaking, yes. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to be the member of this panel and for this very interesting topic. As a member of the Faculty of Architecture, I'm a civil engineer, but I teach architects, and director of the Laboratory of Building Materials. My expertise is on timber, which is the most sustainable material that has, it is the material, it seems, for the 21st century. And because of sustainability, because of these characteristics, has a future, the material that had an enormous past, but not present. So, because of sustainability exactly, these materials like timber, natural materials, we think that for the 21st century will be the materials. 19th century was for steel, 20th century was for concrete. We think 21st century is for them. Also, because sustainability is the main topic and a main goal. In 2030, new regulations are coming for zero-emission buildings, for circular economy, not just energy matters, but we have to test and to see our buildings, our materials, from the very first moment, from the forest for a timber, till a structural member, what is the energy needed, but even more, what happens when they die, how we use them when their life ends. And it's rather strange to speak about Bauhaus, which is connected and expressed mainly by concrete, and use this with timber, let's say, or with other natural materials, which are them, stone, clay, mortars, straw. It may be oxymoron, but it seems that finally we have a future for this. And I would like to transfer our experience because in our laboratory and the architecture school, we try to use these natural materials, looking to the future, focus on them, these traditional materials and all techniques also, because they go together. Not only to use them as in order to restore better the existing buildings, but also as materials that can be used in new buildings, modern ones. So we try through education, because education is the very first step for all this, in our courses to bring our students and learn about these materials. We have, of course, research with PhDs and thesis and postgraduate, undergraduate, and also we try to work with NGOs, non-governmental organizations that work closely with the local communities and the local technicians, realizing workshops on site. We work together because we believe that all this has to be supported scientifically. It's not just that we gather together with some friends and some people and work a little bit with stone or work a little bit with clay. In order to have all this a future, we think that has to be supported scientifically. So in our laboratory, we open it and we work with them. We have memorandums and collaborations with this kind of organizations. And so we try to bring engineers in the villages, in the cities, working with their mind, but also with their hands, and also local people and technicians in our laboratories, because we think that this interaction is very important. So this way, I think we support, academia has to support these old systems and materials, which can be really modern, and mainly try to have them included in standards, supporting a more sustainable future based and on new buildings, of course, but mainly on protection and retrofitting of existing buildings. Now, this moment in Eurocodes, in our standardization for civil engineers, a new Eurocode is coming. It is finally a Eurocode for existing buildings. I am a member for the group who is writing this Eurocode for timber. And it's very, very important that finally, in the future, we will have standards in order to study all these existing buildings, important as the historical ones and not important one, because we think that one of the most sustainable actions is to keep and retrofit what we already have. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Adavosis, Konstantinos?
No, not here.
Didn't come? She said this in the other room. Will not join us. Konstantinos.
Aravosis, no.
Adavosis.
Aravosis is coming from the NSA. He's coming to make us
To Mr. Papageorgiou.
Am I allowed to?
Yeah. Yes. So, please.
I do have a presentation, but it is in paper. Thank you. Thank you. I do have a presentation, but it is in paper. So have a copy. You already have your copy.
I do.
Copy. This is about this new deal, this new European Bauhaus that has nothing to do with the old Bauhaus, as we can find out. The point for me is to step down from the pedestal of the social hierarchy and approach all communities. We listen to their demands and reformulate them in two directions. The first direction, as far as possible, will be to overthrow the stereotypes of progress. I'm talking like an architect because we have a lot to do with stereotypes. What is this? The anthropologists say the social representation of the build and the social representation of the neighborhood. It is a creation of technology, of advertisement, of legislation, and all the intermediate procedures. These solutions were posed as a refinement of this scientific approach and was imposed from above within the framework of state institutions. In every practice, institutions should come from below, and this show us. I think this shows the way, the bottom-up procedure. We scientists should individualize solutions, and opposite to the universal application that produces all this building environment, the impersonal suburbs and the unlivable residential buildings, the bed houses. So let's listen what comes from above, from below. Let's make things more personalized for simple citizens. The second is to overthrow the stereotypes of the management of tradition. What is the social representation of the protection of the historical center, let's say? From the one hand, we are scientists. From the other hand, there are all the demands of this tourism industry, and we have two poles: the tourism industry and the over-specialized approaches of expert scientists like us. In the case of historical centers, and more simply the case of old buildings, we often find an excessive effort of monumentalization. All the old houses are not monuments. Let's keep it simple. In this case, the demand from below concerns general solutions that could be expressed in simple instructions, just to guide, just to tell common people what shall they do. Excessive monumentalization serves more than institutional and closing in our scientific fields than a scientific approach itself. The demand, for example, for an analysis and a solution for each building of the same period, it is obvious. We do not need to make all these calculations, all this analysis for the same type of building, for the building of a specific era. All this legislation produces unpleasant condition and often prevents the possibility of simple repairs and, more generally, the formation of a culture of care. This is, I think, this is a word that is in fashion nowadays, the care. And in fact, I didn't listen this this expression in this conference. This is what we could do to influence a culture of care for the heritage. I would suggest to formate a culture of care. It is a new it's more simple, more general than the restoration, than the preservation. Just care. This is the architect's view. Thank you. Excuse me?
Safeguarding or taking care?
Care. How did you express it?
Safeguarding.
What are you talking about? Safeguarding or taking care?
Taking care. Taking care. Thank you, Dan. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Yes. This reminds me a little bit the approach that had Monumentenwacht in the Netherlands, providing a kind of microbook of instruction for the owners of the building in order to act properly in
France also,
taking care.
I do not. In Italy, do you have this?
I have to ask to my colleague De La Torre, because let's say in some way I imported this, but then it took care about the dissemination of this, of the approach that was created by them, more or less copying what happens in the field of mechanics. So you have your end user manual for the driver of the car, you have handbooks for the repair and the shop, and then you have a list of checks and changes you have to perform every
Checklist.
6 months, 1 year. Of course, this was not the approach for heritage, basically the last one. So this is not preemptive conservation, it is just in case the check reveals that you need to intervene in a proper way. Anyway, very interesting. So would like to summarize the different... Is here. Okay. Please, the floor is yours. Mr. Ravos. By the way, in these 2-3 days, I heard quite a lot of times people mentioning artificial intelligence and the application of this technology in different fields for different purposes. So it will be interesting to get much more in detail in the way in which it is used, the confidence on the results of this, how to check if the different parameters you have to input will offer for sure.
For sure, this is a challenge to calibrate such a model to be sure that the results
will not get crazy.
Yeah. But these technologies are part of the European Bauhaus and will be part of the basis for implementing this.
Let's say it was well promoted, and so nowadays you can't even cook without AI, so it's a must.
Indeed.
Please. We spoke about 10 minutes, but it's usually
maximum.
It was
yes.
less.
Okay, sorry for being late. I was in another
Yes.
congress. Yes. Is this the presentation?
It's to see the presentation, please.
Okay, thank you. Okay, my presentation concerns the new European Bauhaus as a creative and interdisciplinary initiative addressing materials and energy challenges, and all this within circular economy. There are challenges nowadays. One a very important challenge is the over-reliance on virgin materials. The EU imports critical raw materials because there is lack of them, like rare earths, lithium and cobalt, that are used in clean energy technologies. So the EU is dependent on supply, and there is a supply chain vulnerability. Another challenge is the integration of secondary raw materials. There is an issue concerning quality control, and there is a difficulty of the market in accepting some raw materials. There is not enough market for them. And concerning renewable energy systems, there's a slow integration. There are targets that have to do also with the Green Deal, that we have to change to renewable energy sources. And there are constraints and problems like grid constraints, storage limitations, and of course the regulatory framework. And another issue is bio-waste management, which is central priority in the EU. This is linked to the production of value-added secondary products, and this also concerns the market for secondary raw materials. There is also inefficient material use in construction. Construction and demolition waste is a large waste stream in the EU. We are talking now about higher recycling rates. There's a target of over 60% recycling rate in the EU at least. Greece, unfortunately, has a recycling rate of less than 20% for the time. So this is an example of how what is the challenge for recycling, and especially construction and demolition waste is a great challenge. And how can we achieve the transition that we need within circular economy? How can we achieve circularity? There, as I mentioned, it is very important to develop secondary raw material markets, and to add, it is necessary to include waste to energy within the waste management, within a waste management integrated system. You cannot achieve 90% diversion from landfills if you do not include waste to energy technologies. So this is a challenge. We face it in our country, in Greece as well, but this is also an EU challenge. You have to integrate all different technologies in order to achieve sustainability in waste management. In Greece, I mentioned before that a great challenge is the recycling, the circularity rates, and there we already have a legislation framework, but we need also a regulatory framework. And now since I also represent the independent regulator for waste here, I think there a lot has to be done in this direction concerning what we should implement in order to have success the polluter pays principle in all aspects of waste management. Now, all actors have to be included, all stakeholders, in order to achieve this transition. And here I'm going to talk about the new European Bauhaus, which is an innovative approach. It is also a transformative approach to sustainability and to circularity. But here the innovation is that it's not only the environmental factor that plays a role, but also the aesthetics and the inclusivity in our built environments. We have to promote sustainability, circularity, zero pollution, biodiversity and climate resilience, but this has to be combined with aesthetics, integrating beauty into energy efficient infrastructure and green construction projects, and also inclusion, empowerment of diverse communities. So synergies have to be made between academia, industry, government, the environment and the civil society in order to achieve collaboration where also innovation is a very important aspect. NEB, the new European Bauhaus, is an extension of the Green Deal's vision that leads us to sustainability. And while the EU Green Deal focuses on policy frameworks across sectors like energy, transport and agriculture, the new European Bauhaus approach mobilizes also designers, architects, engineers, scientists, and all of them lead to interdisciplinary collaboration. So it's not only the environment, but it's the other factors that play a crucial role. Here, again, the challenges I mentioned in the beginning, you can find a solution by the circular use of construction materials, the integration of bio-based materials in the construction sector, such as sustainable timber, which also lowers CO2 emissions by up to 40%, and the use of biocomposite materials made from woody fibers used for insulation and structural components. And here NEB gives us the opportunity of incorporating the circular economy principles. This means fewer resources, less use of raw materials, but in the end you have what you need. You have the solution needed by an improved design, extending product lifespan, and useful application of materials. I give you some case studies. There are some Greek cases that might be of interest to present. The one is Phaleron Bay in Athens. There the Commission has approved an initial 93 million euros to support the regeneration of 540 hectares of waterfront park along Phaleron Bay, Athens. And this investment transforms the city's waterfront into green, inclusive and vibrant space. And this is in line with the new European Bauhaus principles. And this, of course, has an effect. It will change, actually, all the southern part of Athens. It will have an effect on tourism. And there will be, of course, higher revenues for local businesses. And it will enforce growth. Another interesting case study where new European Bauhaus principles are incorporated is the Ice Hearts Hands Urban Revolution project. This project steers the transformation of cities while considering local heritage and social context. And it involves and supports residents in the green transition close to home. This project benefits the community by improving the appearance of the city of Kozani, and it encourages the energy transition within the target of carbon neutrality by 2030 here. This has also cultural challenges and socioeconomic challenges as well, because here it has to do with the population of the historical centers. 2 elementary schools have undergone upgrades, improving the building infrastructures, and there you have also energy efficiency measures and aesthetics that are different than usual. It includes the installation of bio-based insulation, efficient frames, smart control systems, and also 1 autonomous solar charging station. And there is a final case study that I think is of interest to present. It is the Bauhaus 4Med. It is testing of new European Bauhaus solutions for deep green transformation of cities and regions in the Euromed area in Central Macedonia. This has the target of making green living a joy, and it focuses on testing innovative solutions that integrate sustainability, inclusion, and aesthetics into the decision-making process. In other words, all the NEP principles. And there, the green participatory aesthetics methodology is introduced, and this project contributes to changing the perception of people and regions about the green transition. And since we are talking also about aesthetics and living well, it transforms into what citizens want and love to do. So I think I gave you a presentation of how NEP principles can be incorporated within the sustainability framework, and not only taking into account the waste management targets or the circular economy targets, but also incorporating the other factors that are not usual in designing.
Thank you very much, Professor Konstantinos. I think they are particularly interesting, the case studies, so the examples you provided with the implementation of the principles. So thanks a lot. Now we can summarize, I suppose, but if is there any question for the speakers, any comment, clarification about some of the concepts that were expressed by the different presenters? No one?
I have a comment.
Okay, good.
I want to thank you all for your valuable contribution to understand that Bauhaus is a new European movement which is actually reconstructing not only strategies and heritage, but is reconstructing our conception about approaching them. And it's clear from all your presentations that there are vital and critical dimensions in this reconstruction. It concerns the way we conceive Green Deal, circular economy, how to handle, protect, and recycle environment wastes, etc. It is critical how to develop our new concept for building, for constructing, how to consider heritage preservation, to take care. How do we consider social approach and dialogue with not only heritage, but policies for heritage? And all these are dynamic dimensions. For instance, in the case of the Metro of Salonika, where we started with the conflict and the social demonstration revealed an issue. Perhaps Kostas Tokmakidis from Salonika might say more, but it finished with a solution that brought, after the transfer of the findings of the remnants to the station, a new repository of memory in contact with the people. So it is a dynamic procedure, this, that it is opened. And Bauhaus, for me, it is just a signal of this dynamic. So according to my understanding, this is what I received. I received the message. I hope that this will be a message for the people participating to the conference and not only. Thank you.
Thank you. Please, for yours.
Because I have been referred and I have surveyed 2 times the ruins that have been found in the metro station of Venizelou in Thessaloniki. Once it was in 1916, while there was a quarrel between the archaeologists and the citizens if they will stay in situ and make the station under excavated. But this was a very costly solution. So the next government decided to move all the ruins and then restore them again. So by the second solution, I did another survey in 2020. And it was before move the ruins, because Professor Manuel Corres, professor in the National Technical University of Athens, who was the head of the movement, asked me again to make a new measurement in order to have detailed maps and drawings of each part, and each time that they want to move a map, he asked me to make new sections and details in order to keep the shape in the same condition as it was when they found it. So they moved all of them, they make the railway station, and then they put them again. I haven't seen the final survey, because they did again a 3D survey of the new founded ruins, and I don't have the how did you say, to
comparison.
To compare the two surveys and see if it is exactly in the same position. But doing this, they find and they have opened another area that it was not shown in the first two surveys I did, because it was behind the wall that they have made as a rectangular seam for the station. And so the city gained about 25% more ruins in the same station. And if you go today, you cannot observe any crack or any sign that they have been moved and put it back again. So they made, I think, a perfect work, and it was an office here from Athens that did the final study for the replacement of the ruins. It was our friend Themistoklis Bilis and Maria Magnisali. And we have a collaboration for many years with those people, because I work on surveying monuments and archaeological sites for 45 years now. And when I saw the station, I wrote in the Facebook to our friends, because I belong to the Elliniki area for the conservation of monuments and sites. And Elliniki area was against of the movement, and it was in the fight between the archaeological team that want to move them and put it back again. And that's the story. But when someone nowadays goes to the station and see everything is in a perfect situation, well, it might be not be in the same position, but it's a restored one site, because you know, when they found the Decumanus Maximum, the road, it was it has many curves, and because of the ruins that have been over them, and now it's a normal Roman road, and like that it's visible, and you can walk on it, because every Tuesday morning there is an archaeologist, and you can walk in the site, not just around, as they have put the bridges for the public to see the ruins. And also they make 3D animations, and they did also show in a screen our survey, how it was and how it should be. So they have a 3D reconstruction virtually. And it's a very interesting point now for attraction of tourists, and I think that we have to maybe say that this solution is also very good to the people that they don't know the fight that was before. Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you. So our rapporteur is...
Shall I summarize?
Yes.
Shall I summarize? I will start with the final, just like they do in the news, in the TV.
Yes.
I will start with Tonya, that has reminded us that this what this new Bauhaus is. It is. Bau, it means in German building, and we shall have a new way of building. And here I go to Kostas, Mr. Ravosis, that talked us about raw materials. He demanded, he told us about less demolition, less gas emission. Let me remind you that the demolition we could say, as Lenin said, violence is the mother of revolution. For us architects, we could say that demolition is the mother of architecture. So how could we have less waste? We could not only build and demolish, I think, if this can help you, allow me to. But we could think about assembling and disassembling. This is for us, for architects and for civil engineers, the new way of design. So we do not build, we assemble and then we disassemble. This is the example of the London School of the London Olympic Games stadiums and all these facilities. They were assembled and they were disassembled. Eleftheria. Okay, we go to Eleftheria that said that it was wooden. It was wooden, Eleftheria. Was it? Yes, but she should be in the Norwegian Technical University, not in the National Technical University in Athens, and. For the good, I think it is a problem because in Greece, beton armage is much cheaper. We can consider we do not have forests, we have to import wood. What do you think? Yes, we have considered that in Greece the beton armage is cheaper than wood. We do not have forests, we do not have...
We do. Yes.
Yes, okay. Yes, but it is cheap. Okay. But I'm also a fan of wood. I have built a lot of small houses, wooden houses. Me, I was talking about care. The culture of care of heritage, all together with the care of the environment, not for very difficult restoration and all these big words. Just care for the tradition, and how could we simplify the administrative load for it. Francesca told us about public archaeology, maybe. The archaeology of the local archaeology, the neighborhood, the suburb. Why not? The suburb archaeology. What was before in our suburb, what will be after in our suburb. And all people are waiting for a new, more friendly management of heritage, I think. Don't they? Yes. And Nikos Lagaros also told us about his perspective for structural design. Less energy, less material, less everything, but stronger constructions, I think. Yes. Maybe
the emerging technologies that will be also supporting the 3 dimensions of the new European Bauhaus.
Will it be a solution, the assembling and disassembling?
Yes.
Much more than building, I think.
Yes, these are some of the features of the new European Bauhaus, that the indicators that need to be considered.
Okay, thank you very much, and thanks, Tanya, for giving me this opportunity. And I
Thank you very much to all the speakers, to the rapporteur, and thanks to Antonia for organizing this incredible, huge conference, a lot of speakers and topics. Thanks a lot. Have a nice evening.